Hello everyone, welcome to class 14. So in this session we are going to cover how to write the case statement in MDX query. Okay, so here I connected to my AdventureWorks. Okay, and then I open the AdventureWorks cube. Okay, let's start how we can write the case statement in the MDX query. Okay, so before we start that, routine statements that we write, right? So let me write the routine statement, simple statement, where I take the reseller sales amount on columns, and then I take the um, non-empty of my dimension attributes on rows from my adventures works cube. So here what I do now for to explain, I take the quarter information from the calendar year. Okay, so here I have the quarter, right? So now let me add this quarter. Okay, and then execute. Right, so now if I execute this, then I get all the quarters information is available in the under the reseller sales amount, right? So I have a quarter information is available from 2010 Q4 to 2013 Q4. Okay, now let's start with small. Okay, how to write the basic case statement. Okay, so before we go into write, what is a case statement? So case statement in help in the normal world where you can, you know, compare the values with the other values. Okay, what are the value attribute values that you are getting that you can compare with other defined value, and you can specify which are the values that you want to display. Okay, and then not only that, if you want to compare the specific values, and you can create like new value. Let's say you have the sales amount, right? And if the sales amount is between this range to this range, then you can bucket it like a very large. And if it is other range, then you can mention like a large bucket. So you can define those buckets, and you can define your values by comparing with the specified values. This is about case statement, how it help. So now let's see how we can write the MDX query. So now what I'll do to start with simple case statement, what I'll do, I will bucket this reseller sales amount into four buckets. Okay, one is a very large, medium, and small based on given the mention the range. Okay, then let's start. Okay, so here what I do, I will write so with member, because to write the case statement, definitely we need to go and create the calculated members in MDX. So to create a calculated members, we need to use the with member. Okay, so with member, I can define my calculated member. One more thing before I go into write the case statement, first I will convert this reseller sales amount to million format. Now it's in dollar format, right? So I will change to million format first, so that I can easily specify my buckets. Okay, let's convert this reseller sales amount to million. So here I given the member and the member name, new member, calculated member name. Here I given like RSA. RSA is nothing but reseller sales amount, and a million format. And I want to, divide this measure with million format. Okay, so I have six zeros. Yeah, that's good. Now I'll add this million measure in here. Okay, now execute. Okay, so now you see my reseller sales amount is converted to the million format. Okay, now what I'll do, now I'll write the case statement on top of the my million measure. So now what I'll do here, I create one more member. I'll give the member name. Okay, so I give the RSAM and bucket. Okay, something again bucket as. Now what I'll do, I'll start writing the case statement. The case statement syntax works in like normal SQL. So you need to start with the case, then your condition here, whatever the condition that you pass here, then you need to specify the value. When the condition uh, matches, then you need to specify your values. Otherwise you can go with the else part. So else part you can mention whatever you want to define when the check is fails. Okay. So this is how the case statement works. The how the case statement works in SQL, same way it works in the MDX. Okay. Now in our scenario, I want to bucket the this million measure. So what I want to bucket. So when my million measure, the sales amount value is greater than 10, then I want to bucket that as a very large. Okay, and then next one condition I'll write next one condition. So when my sales is greater than 5 million, then I will mention large. When my sales equals to greater than 2, then I will mention medium. Okay, and then when my sales is greater than 1, then I will mention small. Okay, now I'll use the end. For now I don't pass else statement. Let's go and run without else statement how the case statement behaves. Okay, now I'll execute this one. So now you can see here. Okay, oh, I didn't add this into measure, right? Okay, let me add it to the columns, that newly created member, then now execute. Now you see here, so based on this measure value, the buckets are populated. Okay, but there is the value less than 1 million, right? So for this scenario we didn't define anything. That's the reason the false statement is appearing as a null. Okay, it's a empty. Now if you want to control that null value instead of null value, what you can do, you can bucket stating that ignore. Okay, now if you re-execute the statement, then you see uh, it's populating for all the years, not only the values that I have the reseller sales amount. It's passing the values for all the years, because this case statement is applied to the other years because they are null values. It's we are saying that else part, right? So when you say else part, it will consider null also, not only less than 1. What is the sales is less than 1, it's also take the account into null. Okay, so that's the reason this column is populating the all members in this particular quarter. So wherever you have null values, it's bucketed as a ignore. So now if you want to avoid them, what you can do, you can use your non-empty on reseller sales amount. Okay, let me give RSM on here. Okay, now execute. Here you go. So now you see only the wherever you have the uh, reasonable values, the reseller sales value, those records only it fetched, and now the bucketed correctly. When the sales is less than 1 million, it's showing as a ignore. Okay. In case if you don't want to see these ignore values completely, and you want to see only very large, medium, small bucket, what you can do, so you can try this way. Let me try uh, non-empty of this. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so now you can see here we don't have null records at all, so it's excluded that 0.49 million is there, right? Earlier that record, it's completely excluded. So this is how you can write the simple case statement. Again, case statement, if you don't mention else part, it will convert that as an empty value. Okay, you can exclude those empty value by using the non-empty function. In case if you want to display them, you can write your else statement, and you can now if I put the else part again, it will come. Okay, because this time this is not see, now you're getting all null values because I included the ignore. Again, to exclude them, then again you need to change the non-empty measure from bucket to RSM. Then you will get only reseller sales which are quarters are having the information. Okay, so this is how you can simply write your you know case statement to bucket the information. Okay, so the other case statement that we write, now if you want to write the case statement in conditional way, what does it mean? Let's say I want to if my physical quarter, sorry, calendar quarter is Q1 CY 2012, for that row alone I want to populate the reseller sales amount is null. Okay, that is my requirement. Let's see how we can write the case statement to fulfill that. Okay, so what I'll do, I will remove this. Okay, I'll remove these. Don't worry, I will post all these MDX queries whatever I use in the during the video. So don't worry, I have a backup already. So now let me do this way. Let me clean up. So I did the cleanup. I think RSM I'll keep it. So now this is my statement. Now my requirement is if my calendar quarter is Q1 CO 2012, then I want to populate the null records. Okay. Now let's see how we can write. Okay. So member RSA bucket. Okay. So now here what I need to write, case statement, case when. Okay, this is the hierarchy, right? So I don't need to mention the entire hierarchy. So what I'll do, I'll take till here, case when current member dot. Okay, so my current member name value. Okay, so you can check these properties in other video. What is this current member dot name, how it works? So there is a video in the previous class that I mentioned, so you can go to the previous videos and check how this name property works. Okay, but for now we use this is my hierarchy. Under that I use the current member. Current member, it will pick what are the value that is comes from the current calendar quarter. Okay, so current member and then name. If that value is Q1 CY 2012, then I want to populate null, else populate the RSM value. Okay, my million measure value, and then I end it up. Okay, so now here let me add this measure, and also let me add the RSM measure. Okay, so now you can see here. So for this mentioned this mentioned quarter in the case statement, right, it's populating as a null. Okay, now I want to further extend this, and if my product categories are clothing, then I want to populate the null values. All the clothing, measure values I want to populate as a null. Then what I'll do, I will add additional condition here. So then I go to product category here, product category, then product category. Okay, so then here I don't need to mention again. Let me remove this. category, because product and hierarchy name and their current member dot name value equals to clothing, then null, else display the value. Now to see that whether it's populating correctly or not, so then you can have product category column into your select statement. Now let's see what will happen. Oops, there is a problem. What is that problem? So case when my, oh sorry, it's and condition, then should be here. Okay, so now if execute this, so it's throwing the error too many arguments. Okay, so non-empty only take the two arguments, right? Now let me put my calendar quarter and the category in one, tuple, then let me run. Okay, so now here go, I got the data for all calendar quarter and the product level. So now you can see here, when my calendar quarter is Q1 CY 2012 for clothing, my new calculated measure is populating null. For other scenarios, it's populating the measure value. So this is how you can write the case statement. Okay, and also one more thing to remember, whenever you mention the current member in your query, that means it will expect the value, okay, that particular this member, right? For example, here in the calendar year I'm passing the quarter information, right, to check. So now whenever you pass that check condition, make sure that the calendar quarter should be part of either in your select statement or should be part of either in your where clause. So otherwise, if you don't pass these you know this column, let's say, let me remove the calendar quarter, then it won't apply that filter. You can see here, since I remove the calendar quarter column from the select statement, it's the case statement is not able to validate, and then directly this statement is failing. Okay, and then it's moving to the else part. That's the reason you don't see any difference between the three measures. Okay, so remember all the time, whenever you mention the current member, so whatever the value that pass to the current member in your calculated measure, the same attribute should be part of either in your select statement or it should be in where clause. Okay, so this is about case statement. That's all for now. In the next video, we'll cover it about if statement, how if statement works in the MDX query. Until that, thank you for your time.